Can you hear me? Okay. What's going on, Brother Cruz?
How you doing? Are we not live yet? Are we?
Not yet. We're not live yet.
Okay, it's being recorded and then replayed. Okay, cause I'm still waiting for the ladies to get ready. Can we just give them about maybe 5 minutes?
You take your time. We still set up on the outside too.
Okay.
Yep. You take your time.
How's everybody?
Good. How about you?
All right.
Man,
Can you see everything good? Because I'm gonna be sitting in that chair and they're gonna sit right here on the couch.
Yeah. Oh no. Everything looks good. This is let me introduce you to Miguel Brown, my partner Miguel Brown.
Hey, how you doing, brother? How's it feeling, man?
All right. How are you?
Good to meet you. Good to meet you. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all.
So Miguel and I kicked this off about almost 3 years now.
Well, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. We met at the library. It was like, hey, let's get it in.
Yeah, real library, not like a metaphoric library, like a real library.
We've been on ever since. So we also have DJ Shane and LT. I think Shane is getting on this morning too. Have you heard word from LT?
No, I haven't heard from him. I know last time I ain't talking to him, my mother told me he had lost his phone, so that might be the problem. I'm not sure if he had got a new one, but that was like a couple of days ago.
All
so
right.
I'm not sure.
Cool. But yeah, so and normally we're all in studio, but because you from the area, you know we're about to get a little storm,
right?
And you know we got Corona going on, so we're not in the studio all together.
Right. We would have came if it wasn't for the weather that's upcoming. We would have came to the studio. Yeah. The last time we experienced it, me and my wife Jasmine, we're in law enforcement, so we work in DC, and it took us about 5 hours to get home.
Oh no!
Yeah, I work in Virginia, so it took me 5 hours to get home. Man,
they shut down everything.
On that first snow.
Mm-hmm. They shut down. You had people sitting on the highway for 13 hours.
So yeah, I know how to drive and dip and dodge through the city, so I was like, I'm not sitting out here, man. I'm gonna figure this thing out.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And fortunately, I just put new tires on my car over the summer, so that helped too. But man, listen, shoot, I ended up still getting into an accident because this dude, he wasn't paying no attention. My man was just riding through the intersection. He wasn't looking at nothing. I could see him in his window. He never turned, looked, nothing. And at that point, I was like, "It's gonna happen. I can't stop the car. It's going." And
LT signing on now.
I'm gonna get in my spot real quick. Make sure you guys can see me okay.
Oh yeah. Let me take this down. Yep.
I think my chair is a little too high.
Hey Frank, can you hear any background from me?
You wanna come sit down for a second?
I cannot.
Okay, all right, that's good. Let's make sure.
There are no spots for me. This is one wife. Can you see her okay right there? Is that a good spot?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right.
How you doing?
Let me have her sit in this
Good
spot
morning.
too for the other wife to see if that's a good spot. Okay. Yeah. I think y'all can see her okay, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So sit in that spot.
Yeah, we want. Whenever you get a chance, yeah, we want to invite you to studio. Come check it out, man.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, come check it out. You you make a lot of content yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long is this show?
We normally do an hour.
Okay.
We normally don't go past that. Yeah. So, but here we have radio, podcasting. He's also He publishes books here. All that.
I'm off the screen.
Oh,
am I off your screen?
Yes, you are.
How that happen?
Let me see here. Oh, that's because we have one more person join. That's no problem.
You need me to fix it?
Let's see here. Got your LT. Your camera is straight. Okay, you're back on screen. Give us about 2 minutes and we'll be ready. We're gonna fix the screen right quick.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, God. I think we are good. Boom. Shane the Don.
What up, brother?
Getting all here.
Okay, I'm hearing some feedback from someone's camera.
Yeah, what's that sound?
I'm not sure what that is.
Hey, one of y'all got a fan on or something? What's that sound?
No, our background is completely dry.
Okay. All right, we're gonna march forward. Brother Coles and family, we are the Root Cause Podcast. My name is Frankie Ball. We have Miguel Brown, DJ Shane, and LT. Fellas, this is the Cole family here. I came across the Cole family while writing my book, right? And I found their family unit to be different, but unique. And I had done some reading on it and had heard some chatter in the background of how powerful this unit could actually be. But the society that we live in kind of speaks negative towards it. Well, they speak negative towards anything that's not like it, right?
Right.
So we want to have a conversation with Mr. Coles and his wife because this is a part of their culture, number one. All right. And his brother, I want to know all about what he does to take care of his family. He has 26 children.
27.
27.
Like for real, all them your kids?
And I got 3. I'd be about to woo.
Man, I stopped at 4, Jack. I went and had me a vasectomy. I wasn't playing no games.
But you have beautiful wives, and they do a lot together. So let's get ready to start the show. With a quick video.
Tell me a secret. I don't want to know about just any secret of yours. I want to know about one special secret. Because tonight, I want to learn about all the secrets in your garden. I want to reach your mind, know your deepest feelings. I want to make it right for you. Baby, show me. Let me share the mystery. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Listen to your heart tonight. Come on, come on, come on. Make it alright. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, come on tonight. I know a melody that we could sing together. I got the secret key to you, baby. Let's make music, harmonizing ecstasy. Oh, come on and sing it to me. Here in the garden, with temptation feels so right. Passion can make you fall for what you feel. In the garden, we can make it come alive. Every single night. Oh, your secret garden. Woman, woman, your secret garden. I need to be with.
Happy New Year, family. Happy New Year. Miguel, Shane, Tim, we did it, baby.
Yeah, we made it to another. What's that? Sam.
Yes,
I think we
indeed.
have a.
Fellas, we've been talking about it. Brother Shane, DJ Shane wrote the forward in it, man. I want to thank you and tell you I love you for that, man. Thank you for the help and for the support and staying on me to get it done, man. My God. Hey, let's get it started, Miguel. What's been going on, bro?
First of all, can you hear me okay? Is my sound good?
Your sound is good.
Cause we hear it's like choppy or something in the when what I'm hearing.
Mm.
Can you? Does everybody sound real? I know we live, but real quick, a sound check. Everybody, like we can hear you, Frank, but what about everything else?
I can hear you.
LT, what about yours?
Right now, it's good. It was a little choppy in some points, but right now it's straight.
Shane, you good? Everybody good? Okay, all right, everybody's good then. But yeah, what's up? Happy New Year, all that good stuff. You know, yeah, we back. We made it and all that good. You know, everything cool, man. I'm cooling, man. I'm chilling. I'm taking it light. I ain't making too much noise at all, for real.
There you go.
Yeah.
Got a chance to rest over the break though?
Man, well, I was about to say with 4 kids and everything, but that's not a comparison. So I don't even know if I can use that anymore. So, you know, we just doing a family thing and just putting some things in place. That's all, man. But everything other than that, and you know, this week I had to deal with Junior had appendicitis, so we got his appendix removed. You know what I mean? He recovering good and everything. That's the only reason why I ain't in the studio, because he was feeling a little different today. But overall, he's still good. So it's everything else is good.
Okay, man. I'm glad he's doing well. LT, what's up, baby?
What's going on, man? I'm glad to be back in the lab with the family. Y'all already know me, man. I'll never stop. I never stop moving. I'm never done growing. A lot of things then went down in the past, just in the past couple months, like November, December. It's actually been amazing. So I've experienced some new things, done some new things, and put a lot of things in place to get myself and my family and other families in position. So yeah, and we got some more stuff coming throughout the year. So yeah, we up. It's lit.
Got you. DJ Shane. What's up, brother?
Not much thing like Ryan. I
Hey,
definitely
hey,
been
your mic, bro. We can't
That's
really
where it's
hear you
coming
that
from.
way. It's chopping up.
It's the mic. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be your
okay.
microphone. Okay. I think he said he might call right back. I'm not sure. But let's get into it with the Cole family. How y'all doing this morning?
All right, how are y'all?
All right, all right. We're glad to have y'all on board. Um, I'm not sure if my brothers know of the Cole family. Are you guys aware of the Cole family?
No.
I've seen the family unit, but I don't know much. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to
I'm
be
I,
this one.
I'm an audience member today. I don't know what.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
excited to see the dynamic of the family, the culture that they have created in itself. You know how they do this thing and sustain it. Because hey, look, I got 1 in 4, so I don't even know. So my hey, listen, I'm very excited to just to look. You know, like you said, Frank. People, it's funny that we still have to deal with these different biases and people turning to, looking at other people a certain way in the way that our culture has changed within the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you, the fact that people still turning their nose up at people and are not of accepting of the way people are, like, what I do doesn't affect you in any kind of way.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
why is it that we still have these issues and things like that just because what I do doesn't look like what you do? You know what I mean? So I'm
It's
definitely interested.
America, Jack.
Right. I'm all out for this one. So let's get it.
But more importantly, um, my brother has many hats that he has to wear. Him and
Right.
his wives. Like he's a mentor, right? You have a mentoring program, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Um, I wouldn't define it as a program. You know, I'm just all about helping people. So I have a lot of people that look to me for direction or look to me for understanding, especially when they're in the same dynamic or when they're contemplating or thinking about the dynamic.
Got you.
So a lot of people talk to me in different areas, and not just with the dynamic, just different areas. Period. Because
Okay.
I'm a person that always focus on positivity. It's
Yeah.
not to say negative don't happen, but
Mhm.
we treat negative like a speed bump. Slow down, think about it, make a decision to get over it,
Mhm.
move past it, and keep going, and
Got you.
try to just focus on the positive. You know.
Can you introduce your wife for us?
Yes. Sitting next to me, this is my wife Jasmine
Hi, Jasmine.
in the yellow, and on the next to her in the pink is Alicia.
How you doing?
Okay, how y'all doing this morning?
Good.
Um, so who met who first, and how? Like, can somebody explain the timeline?
Well, I was with Alicia for about, we call her Alicia or Alicia.
Okay.
Uh, so I was with her for maybe 12 years when we met Jasmine. And we've been with Jasmine. Jasmine has been in dynamic for 11 years, going on 12 years now.
Okay. So all right. So what do you call your relationship?
A marriage.
A marriage. Got you. So and we have a lot of different terms out there, but you just call it a marriage.
It's a marriage. I mean, when you talk about polygamy, um, they'll use the general term polygamy
Mhm.
of having multiple spouses. Our particular dynamic is called a closed triad, and it's polygyny,
Mhm.
where a man has multiple wives.
Okay.
That's the one that we practice. But all in all, it's a marriage.
Okay.
If we stop putting labels on it, then people will understand it's no different than a monogamous marriage.
Right. Okay.
We have the same issues. We go through the same things as a family unit. You know what I mean? And like any marriage, you make a determination, you make a constant decision if you're going to work through it or not. Marriage is work. It's
Yeah.
never easy. So it's just more work when you got more partners.
Okay.
Now,
So
hold on, Frank. Let me get in here. I want to take these questions back a little bit. So, at what point did you know this is the road that you wanted to be on? You know what I mean? Like, how did you know? Like, I don't want to be the regular. regular relationship. Like this is the lifestyle that I want. At what point did you know that about yourself? All of y'all, did you guys know that about yourselves early on, or is it like a trial and error? You figure y'all work through it, figured it out. Like yeah,
We,
this is what
we,
we
we,
gonna
we
do.
figured it out and worked through it.
Okay.
Originally, we already understand. Alicia and I was in our faith base where we understand that a man can have more than one wife. Even in our relationship early on, I was married when I met Alicia. And it was accepting. The first wife wasn't accepting of it because she wasn't into that. You know what I mean? So, I would quote unquote say I was cheating. You know what I mean? And that's just being real. But I've never been regular. You know what I mean? And if you can love more than one person, you love people for different reasons. And if we understand that part of it, then people can probably come away from the selfish part of it, because mostly people that's monogamous is just a selfish thing. They feel like if you love somebody else, then they're lacking somewhere. There's something that they're not doing right, or you don't love them the same. You know what I mean? But no two people are the same, so you don't love people the same.
You talked about your religious belief system. Can I ask what is that?
We're Israelites.
Israelites. Oh, okay. All right. So I've heard of the Israelites, but I don't know much about the background of the culture. Okay,
There's a lot of Israelite groups out there. Some of them can be quite militant.
Okay.
That's not us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We believe. We trust God. We trust the Bible. We believe in the Old and New Testament. We also study the Apocrypha. So we're just, and we just study our faith. We don't down anybody else. To each his own. You know what I mean? Because we treat people how we want to be treated.
I think that's important to know that this is not just like a lot of folks think stuff like this is a fetish. This is not a fetish. This is your culture. This is a belief system that you have. That's very powerful. There.
I think when you get past even 5 years, when you're 10 years, 11 years into it, like we are, in this particular dynamic, then I think we're past a fetish.
Yeah, way past a fetish.
Because I tell people all the time, people think it's a player situation or anything. It's easy to play.
Yeah,
that's easy. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Having two relationships, really three relationships, because we have the relationship of all three of us, and we have the individual relationships.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, we focus on the positive. That doesn't mean that we're not normal like everybody else. Like we don't go through the ups and downs, because we do.
Right.
You know what I mean? We just made the conscious decision that we know what we're in, and that we love each other, and that love's gonna have to prevail. You know?
Yeah.
And everybody think that the key to a great relationship is communication. That's one of them. The big key is comprehension, understanding each other.
Man, he dropping jewels now.
Yeah, that's
dropping
definitely
jewels.
a big one. That's definitely a big one.
Ladies, do y'all feel the same way when it comes to your marriage? Is it your belief system, or is it some fetish for you? I know what your husband just said, but have you guys always felt the exact same way?
I have. I felt the same way.
Got you. How about your other beautiful wife?
No, in the beginning, no, I didn't feel the same way. Initially, when I first met him, I was just like, this guy's a player. He trying. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, this ain't gonna last. He trying it. But as time went on, he definitely was different from relationships I had in the past and whatnot. And, it wasn't like one of those situations where I had to be kept a secret or anything of that nature. So that's what stood out the most. Like, it wasn't a sneak and peek type thing or anything. It was more of a, this is what it is. Here's my other wife, this. And she was accepting of it. And so it wasn't like a put away situation. It was more so out in the open. And honesty was from the get go. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he just came out straight with it. Look, I got a wife, and I want you as my wife too. Well, hey, brother, a lot of men can't do that. They're afraid to do that. A lot of men don't know how to do that.
Yeah, that's one of the things I wrote. I wrote a book called
Yes,
I Matter.
no matter.
And it's basically about self-love and living your truth and what makes you happy. And a lot of people that I mentor, the first question they ask is how'd you get them to be okay with it? And I always thought it was honesty from the beginning. It wasn't no games, it wasn't playing or anything like that. It was honesty from the beginning. If you make the decision now I'm not saying that if for those that made the decision to have their wife and have this thing going on the side, I don't like to use the term side chick. But they have this thing going on the side.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you can't turn it around and still be honest.
Yeah.
You just got to be ready for whatever consequences is coming. But you're never truly going to be happy until you live your truth.
Got you.
And even at one point, Jazz was like, I ain't with this no more. It was like a year into it. And she was like, listen, I'm out. I can't do this. You know what I mean? Because it's like any woman, they want their own time. They want their own everything. You know what I mean? And the idea of sharing to her got exhausting at one point. And she left. But as a man, that didn't change anything for me.
Right.
She left, but I still had obligations and responsibilities. So even though she was gone in another relationship and everything, I still treated her as a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning helped her take care of the kids, was there for her. Even at one point, she had my car,
Yeah.
And we had to share a car because she needed transportation, But I didn't change anything, and she had to go through that period. And she went through that period and she found later that, you know what?
That one did.
Yeah.
Hey, consistency too, man. You was consistent. It didn't matter what happened. You was gonna be who you needed to be for your children and for your wife.
And don't get me wrong, I'm human. You know. Can I talk blunt here?
Hell
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the only way.
So,
That's the only way
at
we
one
do
point
it.
in my mind, even though my actions were doing different, my mind was saying, "Fuck this bitch." You know what I'm saying? Like she left, she's gone. You know what I mean? Why do I have to? But because of our beliefs, it was saying, you know what? Even I even went to the heads of the church, like, I was going to cast her. I want to be done with her. She's been with another dude. I want to be done, period. Yeah. And it was like, you can't. But because my faith was so strong at that point, I was like, you know what? I got to swallow my pride. Mm-hmm. Because anybody that come into a dynamic like this, I have to have understanding. There's that comprehension again. Yeah. I have to have understanding that to them it's not normal because of what they've been trained from Western civilization since they were born. Mm-hmm. So I had to be patient and understanding of what she was going through mentally.
Wow. So these were so you were raised on these beliefs. So as you got older into adulthood, you picked them up on your own.
I was raised a Christian. Okay. So when Alicia was in the faith first, and when she kept trying to introduce me to it, she tried to introduce me to it for like almost 10 years, and I was
she tried to get you, champ, and she got you.
I was like,
snatched them up.
I wasn't trying to hear it. You know what I mean? Because you know when you be set in your ways. I grew up Christian, so I knew what my faith was with God as a Christian. So when I hear these different things, I'm like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. I wasn't trying to give it a chance. I wasn't trying to read what the brother was showing me, anything, and things she was showing me. I wasn't trying to hear from her. Look, we having a good time. Like, just chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to go here. But then one day, one of the brothers from the church was showing me some things in the Bible, and I actually looked at it, and I started seeing stuff for myself and reading it for myself. And at this time, I was really seeking. So to me, it was like, wow, what he's showing me is being proven. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And at that time, it wasn't even about having multiple wives.
Right.
It was just about a relationship with God.
Right.
The multiple wives came later. And even when Alicia first brought it to me that she wanted a sister wife, I was like, nah, let it just be me and you. Like, I'm cool. Like, I did the whole thing for years when I had the ex-wife and I was with her. You know what I'm saying? So I did that cheating thing and living a double life and all that. And that was exhausting. I was glad that it was just me and her now. So it took a second for that to even set in that she wanted a sister wife. You know what I mean?
Right. It's wild because most of the time we think of these situations as the guy doing the one pulling. So
Yeah.
Mama One came in there and she did the recruiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. I see it. She seen what she wanted and she went after that thing.
She had a plan.
Yeah.
She
It's a
called
great
me. She
plan.
called me.
So in that situation, so all right, for example, so for you and Jasmine, y'all got brought into this. How did, especially the way that you grew up, like how y'all parents take it, or your if you got siblings, how they take it, like were they
Woo.
kind of what? How was that?
Yeah, that was quite a roller coaster. For me, Jasmine, since I was brought into it because I grew up Christian, and then my father, he's military background, so he was very strict on how me as his daughter, his only daughter, should have been, groomed and into my womanhood and have a husband and the white picket fence type thing, that lifestyle. So when I brought this to his attention that I was involved in this, he was like, "No, the hell you're not my child." And
He was like,
yeah, he was not. My mother was not happy with it either, but at the same time, she said, "You're an adult. It's your life. Me personally, I wouldn't do it, but if this was make you happy, go for it. As long as you're happy, you're safe, you're okay, I'll stand behind you." So it took my family a long time to really get used to this. Like, I mean, they just thought it was a phase. They're like, "Oh, he'll be gone by next month, next week." They kept putting like an expiration date to it, and it's almost 12 years, and they're like, "Dang, he's still here."
He's still here. That and somebody still got an expiration date because that what makes them comfortable. It's only a fad, so we'll be okay for a while. Like that's about
Your
them.
dad, I actually pulled him to the side, and was like, "Hey, let me holler at you, because I want to let you know what's going on." And I actually gave him an introduction to me and what I believe, and that, hey, even though I'm with your daughter, this is not a player situation, so I don't want you to think that, I can go play. That's easy. You know what I mean? And me and him had that conversation, and while he still didn't agree with it, he respected it.
Yeah.
Maybe about 4 years in, I started getting invited to family reunions.
Yeah.
We can't have that boy.
It was that bad where if I had any family functions, myself and the kids had to go by ourselves because they just wasn't accepting of it, and it was hard because I was like, well, this is not just me as my husband, but this is my kid's father, and he should be in the picture as well. So I toyed with that for a minute. I was being pulled in different directions, but eventually I was like, you know what, it's time to stand up on my own 2 feet and let them know, look, this is what it is. This is how it's going to be. You either take it or you leave it.
And it's a struggle that way too. I had the same thing from my family. Like I remember I got invited to one of my cousin's weddings who we grew up like she was my sister. And they was like, you got to pick which wife you bring in because you ain't bringing both.
It's a +1.
Yeah. So me, naturally, I'm like, all right, it's a money thing. I'll pay for the extra plate, because I know you're paying per person or whatever. It wasn't that. It was that the family was saying, you're not bringing both of them. We're not used to that. That's your lifestyle, And I'm like, wait a minute. We got Muslims in the family, and they got multiple wives. And but they don't bring them to the same function. He either bring one wife or he bring the other. And I'm like, well, respectfully, I got to decline the invitation then because I'm not choosing which wife I'm bringing.
Right,
if y'all can't accept, y'all don't have to like it, agree with it, or anything, but you got to respect it.
Yeah.
This is my family.
That's right.
And if you excluding me or you excluding my family, then you're excluding me. Eventually, my family came around. My cousin called me and was like, "No, I want you at the wedding." Blah blah blah. You know how mommy is. She old school. Blah blah blah. We went through that phase, and some years later now, somebody was so hard up on it, finally started acknowledging them as wives, even saying it out their mouths. I remember we was at my aunt's house one day, and Jasmine was there, who was for lack of a better term, second wife. My aunt was on the phone with her girlfriend. She was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna call you back. I'm here with my nephew and his wife." And that was the first time she ever acknowledged her as a wife. You know what I mean? So it's taking time. So anybody that's in a dynamic, I encourage you to stick to your guns. You know what I mean? Stick to whatever your beliefs is and don't bend, don't fold. stand up for what you believe in, because if you really believe in it, you know you're gonna fight for whatever you have to fight for. And I was ready to walk away from family. Even Alicia had been through the same thing. When everybody first met me, they hated me. Both of them, didn't like me. Their parents didn't like me. But as
Wait
time
a
progressed,
minute.
they got to know me. Then that all changed.
They didn't like you.
So both of them won.
Did we?
Oh, man.
Alicia told
My
me
man was
that
consistent.
I would be the last person she ever dated.
Yeah.
So,
Did you tell him?
I said I would never be with him if he was the last man on the face of this planet.
Woo.
Golly. Now, how many
Then
kids do y'all
his
have?
MO became seek out and destroy.
So how many kids do y'all have now then?
What's the numbers like? So 27. That's that. Woo. 27.
Jasmine has 9. Alicia has 8.
I have 8.
Okay,
So how's the dynamic with the kids? Like what is that like? Having 3 parents in the home? Like what is?
It's a circle.
And how was so how was the transition for like the older ones that maybe weren't in that situation before?
Well, the thing is, all of them
they love it.
kind of been in this basically their whole lives. The older ones, maybe like the first 5 years wasn't.
How old is the oldest?
The oldest is she just turned 28.
Okay.
That's it. 28.
Almost 30 years.
I thought the oldest one was gonna be mine.
The youngest is 1. He'll
Oh,
be 2
you got
this
a
year.
new one. Oh Lord, have mercy.
There's no more comment. Nobody's pregnant.
Okay.
We just do it for fun now.
Yes.
Oh, that's what's up. Hey, that's a good time.
That's fun.
He said we just do it for fun now.
That's all right. Watch it, brother. It's playtime.
So what as a unit, what do you guys do to take care of all of your children? Like as far as work goes?
We all work. We all work. That's definitely. We have different multiple streams of income.
We all have been in law enforcement.
Yeah, we all.
Jasmine's not in law enforcement right now. Alicia just coming back to it.
Okay.
Because she stayed home for a while and then she did a little medical. Jasmine's also in school for medical. She wants to become a nurse because she enjoys helping people. Me, I got multiple streams of income as well. I wrote a book, music. I act. I've been in a few movies. I'm still pursuing acting. I'm in a play that's coming up. And I'm in another movie that's actually will be out, I think, this year. We didn't get an exact date yet.
I'm also going back into modeling because I did start during the early 2000s and I stopped after I had my kids. But I'm going back into modeling.
She being modest. She was one of the semi-finalists in America's Top Models.
Wow.
Really? We need the episodes. What episode was that?
Wow. Yeah. So
this is a teamwork. We do it individually, collectively.
And then there's the ex-wife too. She has 8. And the ex-wife, she's actively involved as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was doing the math. I said, yeah, that's not all of them.
2 more out of those.
And then, there's 2 more that have 1 each.
Okay.
Well, man, someone is
So it's 5 of us.
Hey, so look, that goes good with the whole like the co-parent. So how's that the co-parenting situation in that situation? You know what I mean? Like we got problems when we just got one wife and then a baby mama to deal with. Like you have a whole completely you came into it with a whole different dynamic. So then now you got these ex-wives in their situation, and of course they've had to understand which way you were going and where your belief system is now. And that thing is like, how was it dealing with them? Because like, for example, my wife and my ex-wife, it took some time, but now she can come to the cookout. You know what I mean? Like we got a good dynamic working now, but it took more than 5 years to get to this point. So
man, if y'all was on my Instagram, then y'all seen the ex-wife in the car with us. You know what I mean? Because we go to breakfast, we go to dinner, we have outings and different things like that. And like you said, there's a transition period, you know, of that happening. So in the beginning, it wasn't as smooth, but it wasn't as chaotic as some of the things that I've seen in this world.
Right.
Baby mamas and wives and ex-wives and stuff just at each other trying to fight and all that. It was never that bad, you know. There was a little like
it was tit for tat with the
sarcasm here and there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was nothing extreme. It was nothing extreme. And she's been in relationships as well, and I've been cool with the people that she's been with. Because like when she was with her ex-husband, when they first got together, before they even got married, when he just came in the picture, I went to him like, hey, I'm Mike. These my kids. Me and you need to have a friendship if you're gonna be around my kids.
Yeah.
No firsthand, I don't want your woman because I divorced her. If I wanted her, I wouldn't have divorced her.
Yeah.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But
Facts.
I'm around and I'm active. I'm not one of those fathers that's not around, not active. So you're going to see me. I'm going to come here sometimes. I just want to make sure we're on the same page and that we have an understanding. You know what I mean?
Right.
Man, Tom.
And we did that early.
Hey, look, he told my man, good luck, okay? Because I already know. I'm just here for the kids.
I think for the women, it was tough a little bit because the kids, they now had to deal with the fact that their mom wasn't with dad like that anymore. And then she's in the picture. And then, years later, here I come. So they had a lot they had to deal with. So it was a lot on the kids. And
yeah, when she first came, they
hated me.
They're like, Harpo, who this woman?
I got it. Don't worry. But I mean, as we all got, time went on, and the kids knew that I pretty much wasn't going anywhere. They stopped trying to get rid of me. So, and it was for a little bit. It was trying to play the adults against each other. And
I always tell her that was her karma.
Yeah.
That was her karma. She did that to her dad.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I was the only daughter, and I have 4 brothers. So, and the oldest. So yeah, every time my dad, got a new female, I made it known I'm the woman of this house. You can't come in here. So so I got it back, but now I know I won't do
blocking for a long time.
Yeah,
the blockers is real. So kids are ruthless.
With the kids, they did try to play the adults against each other to try to stir up stuff.
Yeah.
But problems. And we did. At one point, we were just like, "Oh, you're picking with my kid," or "My kid said you did this and the third," because as a parent, that's the first thing you do. You defend your child.
Mm-hmm.
But once we knew that it was a game and they were just trying to start stuff, we got to the point where if they came and say, well, so-and-so did this. Oh yeah, well, let's go find out if this is true.
Let's go find out.
And they're like, uh-oh, they're on the same page now. There was no way to go. They finally stopped and gave up. I was like, okay, this is just gonna be it.
That's where I had to step in as the father and husband. A lot of times, and I don't want to put nothing bad on men, but men tend to walk away from it like, you know what, I it's too stressful. I don't even want to deal with this. Let them do conflict. But I would step in and have the conversations with them to tell them it's not the kids don't love either one of y'all, because that wasn't the problem. The problem was manipulation to get their way.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted their way when they wanted their way, and this is how they knew to get it, because they knew they could tell mom this, and mom just out of spite would give them what they want, just to despite the other. You know what I mean? Once they got focused and got on the same team, or you know what I mean, and dissect the whole problem, then we weeded out all the nonsense.
Yeah, see, and Mike, part of your problem was, what was happening was, kids, they ruthless. So them kids was going back to mama like, Dag, mom, you don't even got no man, and Dad got 2. What's wrong with you? And they was throwing salt and shade, making her feel bad. So she really was getting mad at you, Dad. Like, kids ruthless, man. They cold-blooded, man.
They smart. They really smart. These kids are super smart. They know how to play the game.
Oh yeah, they definitely. And y'all got more pieces on the puzzle than the average person, so y'all definitely was gonna try their hand. They were playing chess. My kids be halfway playing Connect 4. Yours was playing chess.
They was already playing the whole football game and everything. They didn't need no coach, no nothing. They had it all mapped out. It was good.
So do y'all call the kids like that's kid 1, kid 2? Do y'all be like number 5? Come in real quick. How y'all?
We get names mixed up. We do, because half of them got names so close. And
I studied my index card, so I know all their names and stuff.
Oh, you do? Oh, you know all of them?
Some of the kids have the same name, so that sometimes we have to say big. Like we have 2 Anaya, so we say Big Anaya for the oldest one and Little Anaya for the younger one. And then we have 3 Michaels. So we're like, we say JR, Mikey, or Trey for the other one. Just we have to give out nicknames, because if you call one, everybody turn around looking at you. So.
Oh yeah. I see y'all got tired of trying to figure out names. It just said that's gonna be Michael 1, 2, 3. But
the thing is, and this is on the real. lot of times when a lady's with a man, she always wants to name her first son after the man. Mm-hmm. So each mama has a Mykal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense. I named my kids.
We're not trying to do George Foreman, but in a way we kind of did.
Right. I mean, you don't have no choice for real. Like you just gotta go with it.
We ran out of
You all
names.
live in the same house?
They said, yeah. How many are currently in the house right now?
That's what I
Woo. What is it?
17?
18?
Ooh.
Yeah,
18.
Oh Lord.
In one house?
8 and 7.
Yeah, 8 and 7.
No, 8 and 9.
8 and 9. 16.
That's 16.
All under one roof?
16.
Yes.
Well, it was
Including
17.
us.
But my son just turned 18.
Oh yeah.
And he felt himself, so I had to kick him out.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm with that.
Yeah, I'm with that.
We let him come back to eat sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's doing good now. I actually just hired him. I just gave him a job. I hired him. Because we got a side security company as well. Mm-hmm. And we got some contracts. So I got a couple of my kids working for me, a couple of my family members working for me, try to keep it in the family.
There you go.
Do y'all have any other family business like as a family, like as a whole dynamic? Do y'all have a family business?
We're looking into one. I know for a while, Alicia and I were talking about like starting a daycare, our own. Because we know that's an expense within itself with just one kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they'll have to get a building because I'm not coming home to that.
No, you got
it's crazy. Like nowadays for a baby just to go for a week, it's like $400 a week for a baby. And I'm like, all they doing is eating and sleeping. You charge me that much for a baby to be there?
Yeah.
But that's something that we thought about starting, and of course him being, his business background that he has and whatnot. We've been looking into that for the longest, and I think we are looking to start that very soon.
Y'all should definitely jump that off.
And one of the other things that we want to do, that we talked about, and this is further down the road, I'm giving myself 10 years to get it together, is I want to open up a real family shelter. Because we've been in situations where we've been less fortunate, and when they look at you like, okay, you're not married, according to the United States, like me and Jasmine, so we couldn't get certain things afforded to us, or we couldn't get certain help. So we had to do it from the muscle each time.
Yeah.
But sometimes families need a jump start, and they might not be married because they might not agree with the United States doctrine of marriage. Right. You know what I mean? So we want to make a facility that will help families regardless. That's good. If you're in a situation where you say you're husband and wife and y'all are family, then we're going to treat you as such. I don't need you to show me a document that says the United States married you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just American family. You're working together, you're doing it as a family. We're gonna help you as a unit.
Yeah, that's good. That sounds real good. Me and LT, we actual brothers, and our mother has a daycare. And she won't even watch our kids. If it's after hours, that's a wrap. She won't. She gotta be. She is the last of the last of the last. And even then, we gotta give her like 3 weeks notice before we can even go.
Look, Jasmine grandmother told her, "Girl, you can't afford me."
Yeah. Like, really? I said, you just don't watch me. And she's like, honey, it's like you can't afford me. I said, what happened to the family discount? She was like, there ain't no discount with all these kids. I said, okay, that's fine. I thought I was going something.
So family, can you tell everybody where they can find your products? Because you also have some other stuff under your I Matters line, right?
Yes, I have beauty products. Everything can be found on my website, www.therealmykal.com. And Mykal is MYKAL.com. So everything is under that umbrella. There's different tabs that show our upcoming TV show that we're working on. It was called Just Family. The website is not updated yet to Wifed Up. Yes. But the new show is called Wifed Up. That'll be coming out soon. We actually in talk with different networks right now because we had decided to do it ourselves. Okay. But different networks are coming out the woodworks now, wanting in on the project. So we're exploring that as well. We got the beauty products. I got the book. Jasmine has the jewelry line. Okay. And Alicia's working on something too, actually. She's working on an invention. We're not going to tell you what it is right now.
Yeah, keep that on the wraps.
Don't tell us. Don't tell us. Don't tell us. Don't
So,
tell us.
do any other children have any businesses?
Actually,
I,
well, I know the teenage girls, well, the middle teenage girls, they all wanted to start their own lip gloss line. They went as far as doing their own research on what flavors they wanted, how to buy the stuff they need to make it. I mean, they're just looking at us like, where's the money? We just need the startup funds
and they're in the cosmetology.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And yes, I get charged for the older kids to do their younger sister's hair.
Yes.
I know they do. I know they do. They gonna get this bag.
And it's all good because I'm teaching them entrepreneurship.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
the same thing.
Yeah.
If they babysit or something, I pay my kids because they didn't have them.
Nope.
They're not their responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to pay somebody to watch them. Why not pay their older siblings?
Do y'all got grandkids? Y'all got
Huh?
It's no. That's right, because the oldest one. It's no grandkids, is it?
I got 10 grandkids.
Yeah, 10.
Oh, it's a lot. Man, the numbers keep going up every time we talk.
Man,
Ooh.
brother Abraham.
Man. Hey, listen, we ain't gotta worry about the
Many
nations.
Hey, the world is good. We ain't gotta worry about.
Yes. That's an experience too. That's fun too. The grandkids, they're fun.
Yeah.
For
Well,
a little bit. We keep them for a little bit to send them back where they go.
Yeah, I can send them back.
Hey, I like that. That's me. Hey, I'm not no grand. I better not be no grand.
Actually,
but
just recently, we had almost everybody together.
Yes.
Two of the kids didn't make it. One daughter that lives in Philadelphia didn't come, and my daughter that lives in Tennessee didn't come because of travel complications. But we just recently got the whole family together for a holiday dinner. We celebrate Hanukkah. Some of them celebrate Christmas. So we had one big dinner. I rented out a hotel banquet room and had everybody. Also had Jasmine's parents was there. Alicia's parents was there. Mine was supposed to come, but they had some travel complications and couldn't make it at the last minute.
The ex-wife was there.
The ex-wife was there and her parents was there.
Yeah.
You know.
Man, what y'all live in Bethesda? We y'all, I gotta have a big house.
I gotta have a big house.
It's a big house. Or a
Actually,
little
we're looking for a house right now, and y'all wouldn't believe with our family dynamic the problems that we have or face
Yes.
as far as discrimination when we're looking for a house.
Well, what's one thing y'all
Because
had to deal
the
with?
type of house that we're looking for, one, because we're black, we get discriminated against. Like, can we afford it? It doesn't matter if we have a pre-approval. You know, my real, and that's one of the episodes you're gonna see on the TV show, what we faced with dealing with that discrimination. Then we had discrimination because of our family dynamic of me having two wives. You know, they were asking the realtor questions that they have anything to do with the transaction. Do they sleep in the same bed together? How do they do this? How do they do that?
Are all the kids his?
Yeah.
All of this.
Different things like that. When you're looking for a home, just give me the bedroom space that I'm looking for and the price range that I'm looking for. And if I have the approval to buy it, you don't need to know anything else. There were sellers that wanted to be there when we looked at the house because they wanted to see us. You know what I mean? When that happened, where most of the transactions you don't never see the seller, even at closing.
No, you don't. No.
Right.
You know,
so y'all getting it from both sides because not only
and that's one of the consequences that we face of being out front with our family dynamic.
Being honest,
we stand on a position where we don't have to hide anything. We feel like we don't have to hide anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When there's one that won't, there's one that will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're not going to dumb down who we are for anybody.
That's right.
And we actually have a petition out. They go on my Instagram page in my bio. You see the petition to legalize polygamy with some stipulations, because there is some polygamy that I don't condone child polygamy and raising them up and forcing them. Like, we don't force our children into this type of lifestyle. You know, we teach them there's nothing wrong with one man and one woman. We teach them there's nothing wrong with woman and woman if that's what you desire. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with man and man if that's what you desire. Live your true self. Be true to yourself. And we stand behind you.
And we actually have children that are like that. The older daughters, one male, they're in a relationship, single relationship. The oldest daughter is with a female. Been like that for what, 3 years now? 3-4 years. So it's not forced. It's not.
Wow. And you said we can go to your Instagram to see that petition to sign.
My Instagram, that petition is in the bio.
I'll sign it.
It's basically just allowing you to love the way you want to love.
Yeah.
And who you want to love and how many you want to love.
That's
and I know a couple of delegates trying to get, a draft of a law draft up to start putting it in motion. But we just need the signatures to do so.
Okay.
I mean that's a big thing because I think one of the probably the way people judge y'all off the break is that all right, they got that many kids, they forcing all of them kids to believe what they believe. But when you hear stuff like this, like that's not what we teaching them. We just teaching them. It's like we did an episode last season, and one of the biggest things to walk away from that was that not looking at people as male and female and this and that, but just to walk in, just to love. Like just to be human just means just to love, right? Just to love. If we walk just in love and we look at people from a different eye rather than male or female or they like this and they like this or they this way and that way, then like it takes the judgment away. You're more understanding. It opens your eyes to other ways of life and it's just not as hard. You know what I mean? So the fact that and I think that's a big thing. People look at y'all like, oh well, if they or he got 27 and one of the kids decided to do it, and that's gonna be another 10. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be no part of that. Well, like you said, what I do don't have anything to do with you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, the way I look at it, like it's 3 of them on the mortgage. Let's go ahead. If one don't work,
Right.
if one don't
Right.
work, 2 of them still got jobs. We still getting money. Let's go.
Right. Right.
And for the other ones looking, no, I don't charge my kids rent.
Right.
Okay. You know, we had one time, you know, at times you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
But we had one organization actually tell us at a time we needed help. I had an injury at work, and I wasn't on the job that long when I got the injury, so I wasn't given FMLA. So things went down spiral real quick. You know, when you live in somewhere like we live in, you're paying almost $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
You know, for home expenses. You miss 1 month, you get backed up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to get help. And you know what they told us? Well, if you put each one of your kids to work and have everybody pay $100, you got okay.
What?
Why would I have to put my kids to work? You know what I mean?
Was that a white person that said that?
A white person said that. Yeah. A white person said that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And that's why we stand on what we stand on about helping families. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no help out there for a family like ours, you know. So yeah.
I remember one time, actually it was right when I met them. I was my 2 oldest kids are not with Mykal. They're from previous relationship. But when I had met them, I was 21 with 2 kids trying to get help, and they were willing to help me more than I was in the shelter at the time, and I seen a family in there. A friend of mine, her boyfriend and herself and her, they were in there together as a family. And they were telling him, well, you might have to go get a second job, this, that, and third. They just had a baby, all kinds of stuff. And I was just like, that's crazy. But I was a single mother with 2 kids, and they were throwing all these opportunities and stuff at me. Oh, we can put you up in this. We can do this. We can do that. And I'm like, because I'm by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things with society when you take
crazy.
They feel like if you take the man out of the picture, out of the family, out of the home, then they got more control of the women.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why they frown on polygamy, because it as you see in this dynamic, the father is here with all 3 mothers, all 5 mothers really, dealing with the kids.
It's all about unity.
Nobody is fatherless.
Yeah, it's all about unity. They want to take that away. But a question that I have for y'all, I know that y'all spoke on not making your kids work, but what is y'all stance on group economics? Because that's something that I'm really big on, and I believe that if I just believe that you know how Black people, we have kind of like a savior complex, so we kind of look for that one leader to like get us to the next, get us to the promised land. But when you look at other cultures, none of them have leaders. They're not like the Asian community doesn't have a Martin Luther King or Louis Farrakhan. They don't have that. They just have systems in place. They have principles in place that each family goes by. So you have results like the Asian community producing the most billionaires, right? In Latino communities producing more millionaires, than other communities like the Black community, for real. So so what's your standpoint on group economics as with y'all family dynamic?
I'm totally in support of it. But the way I want it where it's not forced. I
Right.
wanted that they make a constant decision that, you know what, this is the best avenue to help everybody succeed.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I do teach them, you know, and I try to support anything that they want to do.
Right.
And I try to get them out of the rim of the crabs in the barrel. You know, some people don't want to support other people because they don't want them to get further than them before they can get to where they want to get to.
Right.
I believe if we all focus on one and help one get there, that person can pull everybody else up. And that's basically what we do. But I don't want it forced. I teach them about it and I show them, you know what I mean? And I showed them this maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. And just to give you an idea, a couple of them are finally coming around to it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're finally coming around to it like, Dad, you know what? You was right. If we do this, then we can do this, X, Y, Z. If we put our money together and we get this, we can do X, Y, Z. Because me and my son, my oldest son, we even talked about getting land and being able to build our own houses on it.
Yes.
So that each person can eventually have a house. Yeah, we might be in the same have our own community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like each person can have a house to come back to. It don't stop you from moving somewhere else if you desire.
Right.
But at least you always have this.
Right. Because those are some of the things that I really look at for family dynamics like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like my dream to be able, like my dream is still like I buy land right now and I'm into real estate, but like one of my dreams is to actually be able to get a whole, like buy some acres of land and put my family on it. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody wants to build there, you know, you got a space where you can build at, you know what I'm saying? And I think that one of the best ways to do that is practicing group economics. Everyone has a role. Everyone, you know, if you decide to, everyone has a role, you know, just showing them the importance of what you can do together. Because if you think about it, every place that we shop at, every brand name that we shop with or buy from, they're all last names. McDonald's last name, you know, just all these big companies that we see and we shop with, they're all last names. So I feel like, you know, if you're definitely in a family dynamic like that, whether you are or not, I believe that your last name should definitely hold some weight. I believe that everybody should raise a family with that concept that your last name should hold some weight economically.
And LT, man, I think that that's a great thing. But the U.S. in our current society, they make it hard to do that. You know, they won't recognize families like Miss Mykal's family here.
Yeah,
because they know the power that he'll gain.
Right. Exactly. And
that's
exactly why I say that's exactly why I was talking about the importance of you know, doing that in home. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if we look,
y'all won't believe the opposition that we have gotten from the government in our area.
Exactly.
I mean, we've literally had to fight things. We're fighting. I was fighting something right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we fought things in the past that they come up against us just because of the family that we are.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the type of stuff and that's why I say it's very important for a family dynamic like that to be to understand, to really understand and know the importance of group economics. Because at the end of the day, you know, I don't care. Like when the election was going on and black people was raving on about the president, you know, whether it's Joe Biden or Trump, I was telling people I don't care what the president is doing, because at the end of the day, the president don't control my household. He don't. And no matter what, I'm going to, like, my family's going to be able to eat. If y'all shut down the grocery stores and say we got to get this vaccine or whatever it is that we got to do, whatever stipulation that y'all want us to succumb to, my family's going to be straight, because I know that I have the capital. I put in the work to make sure that I have the capital, and my family understands the dynamic that the role that they need to play, so that we can all have the capital to be able to be self-sufficient if anything goes down. Right. So that's why I say, because you're gonna, especially in because as black people anyway, we already face hella discrimination in all aspects of life. So I definitely believe that it's important to be able to do for self and really teach that, you know, and just move like that. You know what I'm saying? So whether you have a job or not, you know what I'm saying, I definitely think that you should be able to prepare for your provide for yourself financially, spiritually, mentally, be able to put food on your table, be able to grow food, all these things, right? So you never depend on nobody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that your family is going to be that way. They're going to be successful at it because you're teaching that.
Definitely.
and you're teaching your older children, to do for self, and your younger ones who do the younger daughter's hair. Hey, go out and work for it.
Right.
You know? Proud of y'all. We love having you guys on board today. Love speaking with you. Brother, can you shout out your Instagram, your website again, and where we can find everything, Mykal?
Everything is the Real Mykal. TheRealMykal. On Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Just Queen Jazzy. Alicia Cole's Queen.
Okay.
On Instagram. And the website, of course, www.therealmykal.com.
And we'll make sure that we put that inside the description also, so that our viewers can go check y'all out. Cash mob y'all ASAP.
Yeah, she is a queen. You see how she sat up there the whole show? She just sat there and nodded. She gave a nod on everything. That's right there. Like next, she let them handle all the talking. You better not say nothing to embarrass me up here.
Hey,
Yeah,
y'all
it was a
y'all
pleasure
now,
having y'all. Pleasure.
Oh, for real.
Thank
Man.
you.
Thank you very much.
y'all now listen to the Root Cause podcast, where we have the hard conversations. We barely touch this conversation here. I hope that you guys learned something. We'll see y'all next week.
Hey, we be back. We out of here.